Hello there, this is Grog Strongjaw. You're listening to DDO Players News Podcast. Enjoy.
Hey now, everybody. Welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news from Dungeons & Dragons Online, the tabletop, and beyond. I am your host this evening, Drac, and I am joined by the one, the only, Axel from Axel's YouTube. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Drac. Thanks for having me on again. It's been a little while, and happy to be here.
It has, yeah. I've been meaning to get you back on, and I just thought, my schedule has been kind of weird the past couple weeks, and we found a time that will work, and I'm like, I'm going to get you on, because there's one thing in particular I want to talk to you about, but we'll get to that in a second. How about right now, actually?
Yeah, much to discuss.
Yes, we do. We do have a lot to discuss. The big thing is Update 75.7 was released November the 6th. Big thing that brings is the raid. And I know you have done the raid, and you're out of the two of us on this conversation right now, you were the raider. So tell me about the new raid.
I am a raider, yes. Yeah, I've run it maybe, probably 7 times, I would say. It's a shorter raid, so if you're looking for a shorter raid, it's very much kind of a beatdown. It's not a super complex raid. Like, don't go in expecting like Curse of Strahd here, or like Temple of the Deathworm. It's more along the lines of like Vision of Destruction. Definitely a shorter, very, very puggable if you like to pug raids. It's very, very puggable. I mean, where do you want to start, Drac? Do you just want to go start from the beginning and go through it? Or want me to go through it? All right.
Just go through it.
All right. So I think that one of the first things about this raid you need to know is it's actually scales a lot easier than some of the more recent raids. So like no group of just 6 to 8 people, I think, will have problems getting through this on normal.
Okay.
It definitely on hard for sure. Like I think even most shortman groups will have no problem with this. It definitely scales easier. I'm not really sure why they did that, but it's definitely a lot easier on hard or normal than say something like Den of Vipers or Threat Sold Anew.
Right. Okay.
So it's very, very accessible. Which I think is a good thing. I always thought that like maybe the normal and hard should be a little easier so that people can get into the raid. And if you really want to push the difficulty, you got 10 levels on Reaper, right?
Yeah.
And there have been people who've done that. Sorry, this raid hasn't been completed on R10.
Has it?
Yeah, it was the first day.
Oh my God, you're kidding me!
Surprise Pikachu, I think, is the guild. I believe that completed it on R10. Yep.
Jesus. Okay.
Yep.
Well, congratulations.
So I just wanted to say that start with the difficulty, just to let people know if you're not normally a raider, believe me, just go and play this quest. It's very, very accessible.
Okay.
It's kind of a smaller map. Like think of the map. Think of something like Threat Sold Anew. It's very similar to that map. Very small, not a lot to learn in terms of getting around. The main boss is the Relentless Killer, which I believe is from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
It is, yes.
And he plays a lot. If I had to compare him to a different raid boss, I would compare him to the Lord of Blades. He does a similar spin attack, which is the main thing you want to look out for if you are in melee, because that does a lot of damage. There's a few other mechanics here with the raid. I mean, right when you enter, you fight some trash, and then you immediately get to see the raid boss, and you can start with your first fight. There's actually 3 different encounters with him. There's the main thing with him. There's some trash there that will spawn in some of the different encounters, and he'll get a lot of DR and kill. You have to keep the trash down so that you can get through his DR. They brought back penalty boxes, which I thought was kind of cute. So randomly you can get, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but occasionally someone in the main fight room will get transported to a separate room where there's a helmed horror, and they get trapped in there, and they have to defeat the helmed horror before they can get out.
Okay.
So Other than that, though, there's two other encounters to note in between the three boss phases. So there's a phase with Mudmen, and they have a mechanic there with squares, shapes. You need to stay out of the shapes, or you get like acid or fire dots, or you get a spell point debuff. So it does drain your spell points if you don't stay out of the different squares. So there's that to look out for. Not too much to say, though. There is a second fight with, let's see, what were the names? I'm trying to remember the names of, the artist and the brush, which is like a hand and a brain in the jar that you fight as mini bosses. And there is also a wax statue of, I believe the character is Joanna, and it's called the Simulacrum, I believe. You need to fight that, but those are just beatdowns, not too much to say. There are some ingredient chests there in the raid as well, so if you want to go in there, I don't know how many people are doing this, but you could go into the raid just to farm ingredients from those chests and not complete. But other than that, I guess the other the coolest thing I think that I noticed in the raid was there's a mechanic there in the boss fight where there's these statues that float above your head, and they go all around the room, and they'll kind of randomly slam down and do massive bludgeoning damage. So as you're attacking the boss, you have to also look above you to make sure you don't get smashed. So
right, yeah,
cool. So I've never seen a mechanic in DDO before in a raid where you have to look up. I guess maybe something like, the Heroic Giant Hold raid, you kind of look up at the beginning to watch for spinning skulls, but this is the first thing I can remember where you need to look up to make sure that you're not going to get smashed. So I thought that was something different. It's basically just mostly a beatdown, which is some people like that and some people don't. I mean, what do you like? Do you rate a lot, Drac, or do you rate it all?
I do not. I want to start, actually.
Okay. Well, this is one even that I don't even think you need to even think of it as a raid. If you have 6 people, you can probably do it on normal just fine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't, like what I tell people all the time, because I know some people are like, oh, I'm not really a raider. I'm not saying this is you. I'm just saying.
Right. No, that is me. Exactly. 100% that is me.
All this is just a quest that allows up to 12 people, but you can definitely do it with 6 for sure. And there's nothing in this raid that really requires. It doesn't have a lot of like party focused mechanics. It doesn't.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Okay,
yeah, that's the thing about this raid. It really doesn't have much of any party mechanics in it.
Yeah.
It's basically just a DPS beatdown. I will say personally, I am a little disappointed in the raid. Not that it's bad. Like it's not a bad raid. And I think as part of a raid train, it's nice to have raids like this, where it's just a quick raid. This raid lasts all of 5 minutes, by the way.
Wow, you're kidding me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a 5-minute raid if you're doing it on like hard. Most pugs will get it done in about 5 minutes. Yeah, so it's a short raid.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm a little disappointed in it though, because I was really hoping for there to be more to this raid. I was hoping for a beefier raid, because we just it seems like when we get raids now, we just don't get those beefy experiences. Those Curse Estrades, those
now like the multi-step.
Right. Traditionally, raiding in DDO has been something like I think probably the Shroud is the best example, where you have multiple phases that challenge the party in different ways, and then that culminates in a boss fight. And during those different phases, like going back to the Shroud, you have, say, the first phase, which is the DPS phase. Then you have the second phase, which is the party coordination phase, where you need to communicate, make sure you are killing the different monsters and destroying the crystal at a certain amount of time. Then you get to the third phase, which is the puzzle phase, and then you get to the fourth and fifth phases, which were the beatdown phases, the boss fight phases. And I miss that in DDO. I would love to see them go back to that, where we have raids that have more to them and don't just have like just the boss fight. Like I don't want to see the boss right when I don't want to fight the boss within a few minutes of starting the raid. Like I would love to have just a beefier raid, and especially it being the only raid we got in this expansion. Now we're only getting one raid in expansions. I was really hoping for more of a beefy experience. If we were getting a second raid, then something like this would be okay. But I think a lot of people, particularly, I mean definitely me, I was just wanting more for this raid, just for there to be more to it. There has been really good raids from SSG. I think Skeletons in the Closet is an excellent raid, so they can do it. I don't know if it's just the budget. They just don't seem to be putting the developer hours into raiding recently. I mean, when we do have, I think Den of Vipers also was a really good boss fight, but it didn't have those phases that led up to the boss fight. It was just the boss fight. Same thing with Fire of Morgrave. Like, I would have wanted that to be the end phase of a multi-phase raid. And I just, that's my take. I know other players players who don't particularly love raiding kind of like this because, hey, it's a really short grind to get the gear that they want. Like, it's really, really farmable. If you have 3 or 4 characters at cap, you can do this raid in 5 minutes. Like, you can probably get enough runes in just a couple days, assuming you have a bunch of characters and are willing to buy some raid bypass timers. So, pros and cons.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I sort of see that, like, not every raid has to be like the, ultimate multi-step affair, but I can kind of see, too, why a lot of people would be disappointed. I'm just shocked that you said it's only 5 minutes long, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's
for sure.
Crazy to me.
That assumes like, normal or hard.
Right. Well, yeah, of course.
If you're doing Reaper, obviously it's going to be long.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like for the standard difficulty that most people are running. Yep.
Right.
About 5 minutes. Yep.
And then, what do you think about the crafting? Have you done any of that? They added the new tier, the Victranium crafting with craftable augments in this one.
I really have not looked too much into it. In terms of the loot, I did see that they did add a unique raid mall, which is someone who likes running mall builds. I was really happy to see because it's the first mall they put into a raid since Old Baba's Hut from the original Ravenloft expansion. So, I mean, not including the like weapon suite stuff like Dinobone and what have you, but in terms of unique malls, it was the first one since then. So I was pumped to see that. But no, I really haven't looked much into the loot yet. I'm still on most of my time spent on the TR train this year for sure. I'm almost done with my heroic completionist project, if I can talk.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm probably looking more into the gear next year.
And I was going to bring that up then, not the crafting aspect of it, but how about the loot and the gear from this that come out of this?
Yeah,
what's your opinion on that? Or
I wish I could have one. I just haven't looked too much into it, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. I haven't either because, like I said, I would love to start raiding. The only raid I've
before this podcast
ever done is the Shroud. To be honest.
Oh, really?
So yeah, yep.
Well, get a character on Shadowdale. I'll show you. I can show you any raid you want.
Well, I will take you up on that because I have characters on Shadowdale. Actually, that's my quote unquote main server now. So yeah.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Raiding is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted for sure to have you on because I knew you would be the one to talk to about this. Yeah. My big ultimate goal is we started this like a couple years ago, actually. Patrick was trying to get me up to level and to get me in to do the Strahd raid. That is the one that I want to do to say that I have done it.
Oh, you've never done this Strahd?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
And I know, see, exactly. It's like me of all people. I want to go in and just to say, I've been there and I've done this. I mean, I'm sure I'll be horrible at it and I'll die a horrible death, but that's fine. Just to say that I've done it and I died to Strahd would be the ultimate for me. So there we go. So yeah.
Well, you'll love it because I know you're a Ravenloft enthusiast.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of the best, if not the best raid in the game in terms of design for sure.
Well, I will definitely remember that you are on Shadowdale too, because that's the server that I moved most of my people over to. So. Anything else on the raid?
I don't think so. I think I covered everything I wanted to say about it. But yeah, it's better than Myth Nor's raid for sure. But we wanted more. But it's not bad.
And then also, just the raid was part of the patch. We did get a little other things, nothing too majorly exciting, but a couple optional objectives can now spawn some unique loot in a couple of the quests now in proper authorities, and the ends and means. in the ends and means, it's in the monstrous experiment optional chest. And then in proper authorities, it's in the optional chest for helping both guests. The zoo creeper, the crocodile optional chest, and locked away part 2, the gallows speaker chest. So some more unique loot. They didn't exactly say what the unique loot was. I should have looked that up, but I mean, I guess anytime we have a chance to get some loot is good.
I guess it's augments and ingredients, but I'm
Okay.
not sure. That's my assumption.
Probably sounds correct. And then they're still working on game performance issues and stuff like that. In Party Crashers, there was some sprites that could cause a performance issue that they have corrected. So they're always looking everywhere in the game. You know, this has been an ongoing thing, trying to help with the lag situation and the health of the servers. They're always going back through everything and finding stuff that they can tweak and change. Guess apparently.
Yeah, were you familiar? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Were you familiar with Party Crashers and how it worked and how they changed it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the fountain room. It's very. If anyone listening hasn't run that quest in a while,
I haven't ran it since they changed it, but I've heard people talking about how they have changed it. I should run it again now.
Well, it was a very it was a Quest had performance issues for a while. For whatever reason, that water fountain room, your FPS would just crash.
Oh, always, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So it's good they took care of it, although it's a little smaller now. But
that was one of, I think, 3 quests I can think of off the top of my head that always, like, your FPS just died in the quest.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the worst ones, though. But, you know, as I said, they're always trying to, you know, get the game better and in a better state, which just from my experience, I haven't played too much, but the past couple of weeks that I've been playing, the little that I played, we're in a much better state than we were, for sure.
Oh, yeah, we are 1,000% better than we were. For a solid month to month and a half there.
Yeah.
You know, after the transfers, it was very bad.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, go ahead.
I quit playing for a while because I'm like, I can't. Like, this is like, there's no point in playing right now. But it's so much better now.
Oh yeah, the game hardly worked. Yeah, I did the same thing. I quit playing for a while. I don't know if I quit entirely, but you know, I stream, so at least I have people to talk to.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There, my Twitch chat. But yeah, I mean, I was playing other games and stuff. But yeah, it was bad, but they got a handle on it for sure.
Yep. And they're, you know, and like I said, that's a constant thing. They're always changing, even if it's just like something in a quest, and it could be a quest from 12 years ago. They might find something that says, hey, let's make this little tweak to this, and that'll get just a little bit more performance. And so that is a good thing. So that was the update 75.7. Then last week, or no, maybe 2 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks ago, there was a Lamannia. They were testing what they call a class balance, and this is going to be coming with update 76, which is coming, I would say, soon. TM, we don't know exactly when it's coming, but the Fey event that they have been talking about is also upcoming, and they wanted to do this class balance to kind of go hand in hand with that. We're going to talk about the Fey event here in a minute, but we just wanted to take some time to talk about this balance pass that was on Lamannia, because there is quite a bit of changes that they're making, or proposing to make. Just remember, everything we're going to talk about here for the next little while was on Lamannia, so this is subject to change. This is not, you know, written in stone yet. This could be tweaked and changed, but as of this Lamannia pass, this is what they were talking about. So I don't know where you want to start, because there is so much in this. So just go.
I don't know. It depends on how in depth you want to go on it.
Do you
want to hit the highlights or?
Yeah, let's go the highlights, and then if you think maybe there's something that we should have a little deeper discussion, we can.
Sure. Yeah. So a lot of weapon types are getting more. There's more flexibility for attack and damage with different stats. I mean, they mentioned here like crossbows can now innately use dex to hit and damage. Um, Dagger, darts, shurikens can use the higher strength or dexterity. So there's a lot of changes like that at the beginning. So with throwing weapons, more uncommon weapons. I mean, crossbows are common, but some of the more uncommon weapons, throwing axes, hammers, you're getting more options. You're getting more to hit and damage innately. That may not matter. I mean, a lot of people will take like different like intelligence to hit and damage or what have you.
Right.
But yeah, there's more options and some base options for hit and damage where it didn't exist before, basically. So if you run range builds or throwers, take a look at that for sure. I mean, with the big things that I noticed, and I'm a melee player primarily. So the things I really noticed, some of the melee changes, like very big buffs to cleave and great cleave. They're now getting +1 threat range, and well, cleave is getting +1 critical threat range and +1 critical threat multiplier added to it, and then great cleave is getting +1 threat range and +2 critical multiplier on it. So a lot more damage on cleaves, which is just a good thing. No one's really been using the cleaves, particularly since years ago when they added strike through for two-handed fighting. That was a big one because you can now get AoE in other ways. There's, especially when you get to epics with things like quick cutter, you can get AoE in better ways. So I think the cleaves have fallen out of favor. So definitely people will be taking a second look at those. I don't know if I'll use them, but I still am not like a huge fan of cleave. I think it's good at low levels, but as you level up, it tends to be a little less useful, and it does have a little bit of lag to the animation. But yeah, definitely way more tempting as feats now. So I thought that one was really important. Let's see some other ones that I thought was. I actually rose my eyebrow at this one. Whirlwind attack is getting +1 critical threat range and +1 critical multiplier added to it, which I saw that one. I'm like, wow, really? Because that's already a very popular feat. It's the main way that players who are playing melee characters who are not two-handed fighting get AoE, because
that's what I had thought.
yeah, like if you're not playing two-handed fighting, if you're playing single weapon fighting or two weapon fighting, you're taking whirlwind attack anyway. So I was like, wow, you guys are really really buffing that. Okay, I mean, that's fine. It's just wow. Stunning blow and sap. I don't think anyone cares about sap, but stunning blow has had its cooldown decrease from 15 seconds to 10 seconds, and the DC increased from 10 to 14. So that's pretty huge, because I've always thought that stunning blow had a little bit too long of a cooldown. So it's getting 4 more DCs. So that's going to be even more useful. I mean, I already took it on a lot of builds, so that's gonna be nice. And then I saw this one and I was like, what? Well, I saw it and I'm like, well, why? Spring attack's getting 20% damage bonus, which, okay.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one at all. Yeah. Like why the spring attack? I don't,
I think the idea behind the attack was for it to be offensive, but everyone uses it basically as a sprint boost. So I don't know if that really will have any effect on how many people take that attack. But another really notable one for ranged players: improved precise shot now passively increases the ability score modifier to damage for longbows and shortbows by 50%.
Yeah, I am super excited about this. Yep.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot to try to shift the meta a little bit more towards bows and away from crossbows and inquisitive, which we'll talk about inquisitive in a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's I think they're positioning bows to be more like the. I don't know if it's a good comparison. More like the less you get less shots, but the shots that you do have do a lot more damage.
Yep.
Whereas I think, say, like dual wielding crossbows and such are going to be the you get a lot of attacks, but they don't hit for as much. So.
And I've been here lately. The only thing I've been playing is a ranged, and I'm always longbow because I'm not a big fan of crossbows, and I'm not a big fan of short bows. So when I saw this was gonna work for the longbows too, I'm like, okay, I can deal with plus 50%. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely, if anyone that's listening has stayed away from bows because they just weren't nearly as good as trees like inquisitive, you definitely want to take a second shot. I'm not a ranged player myself, but I imagine we're going to see a lot more bows and longbows around, and they've already. This is on top of other buffs they've done in previous updates. So, yeah, good stuff there.
Can SSG, can we get some cool longbows though? Because there's not really any great longbows in the game right now. So let's give me some longbows.
Yeah, so they mentioned, I don't remember because it's been a while since I've used it, but they mentioned Razor Claw Magic Fang that has a max caster level of 20. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if that's related. I know people have complained a lot about Magic Fang not working. I don't know if that fixes that or not, but
yeah,
I saw that. I was like, I should have looked more into that one. I guess, is there anything you want to, I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, that's fine. You're, like I said, this was more like a lot of this was over my head because I'm like, okay, some of this stuff I understand, but there's some of the stuff I'm like, I don't know. This looks like, to me, it looks like this is good, but is it actually good?
Well, it's a lot of little things. I mean, there's some big hitters like the cleave and
yeah, like that.
And we'll mention a few more, but it's a lot
that I understood. Yeah.
And for anyone listening, we're not going over every change.
Oh yeah, no, there's
so many little ones. It would take us a long time. So.
Exactly, we'd be here forever. There'll be a link in the show notes that you can go on the Lamannia forums and read like everything through this. We're just, as Axel said, we're just kind of hitting some of these that we think are okay. Yeah, let's kind of talk about this.
Mechanic got a lot of buffs in their tree. Just a lot of their actives got a bonus. One thing, where is it? What was it? I think leg strike. Is that what it's called? Leg shot.
Yeah, went from leg shot. Yeah,
it went from 20% damage, and now it's being replaced. It's going to become a new ability called Line Up and Sit Down that does 250% damage instead of 20.
Which
knocks targets down with 2 seconds with no save, 6-second cooldown.
I might invest into. I don't go into the mechanic tree much, but I saw this one and I'm like, okay, I might want to experiment with this a little bit.
Yeah, and it's good because it's, for the longest time, Mechanic has been basically worse Inquisitive in the meta. And it definitely beats buffs. And I have a really old Mechanic character that I made probably over 10 years ago that's since been retired. So I have a little bit of nostalgia for Mechanic, and I've always wanted to get that character and revive him and pull him out of retirement. So maybe I will. Oh, I thought this one was pretty crazy. So this is something that Vanguard and Kensei are getting that's being attached to their different active abilities. They're getting something called Battle Guard on these active attacks, and it's an effect that per stack, it gives you 10 MRR and PRR. So it can actually stack. Basically, this equates to 50 extra MRR and PRR for these. Assuming you're using those active abilities, you can get up to 50 extra PRR and MR, which is just huge for Kensei and Vanguard. So that's pretty huge. This was a big change, Vistani knife fighting. So core 6 attack speed bonus only applies now when using a dagger or kukri. A lot of people would use Vistani for the attack speed bonus on a variety of different weapons. Weapon builds, but now you have to use daggers or kukri, which to me that makes sense. I mean, it is the tree is called Vistani.
Yeah, knife fighter. Yeah, that's I have a couple of Vistani knife fighters, and I always use daggers because that was just the point. I thought I didn't realize people were actually because
insisting on it.
Yeah, I was like confused about this because I'm like I thought that was the point of the tree, but I guess I didn't realize people were actually doing. Okay, so now that makes sense to me.
Yeah, a lot of people used it for a lot of different builds. So now it's more like, okay, if this tree is for dagger and kukri builds,
right?
We're gonna keep you to that.
Exactly.
I guess we can get in some of the. One other. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. But, I guess we can get into some of the nerfs now because there's a lot of buffs, way more buffs than nerfs, and we've gone over a lot of them. But the main ones are Inquisitive. They're losing 15 range power in their tree, in total. So some from their cores, and some from like core 5 and 6, and the other one from Inquisitive's path. But it's deserved. I mean, it's been dominating the meta for a while. I mean, with the top tier guilds, basically the optimal party for raids has been, as they tell me, has been basically a tank, a healer, and 10 Inquisitives. So
no, really,
yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So but these nerfs may be changing that. I don't know. Again, I'm not really much of a range player. This is just what the guilds tell me.
Right.
But yeah, it's deserved. They've been dominating the meta for a while, at least when it comes to ranged. And the other one is Quick Cutter, and this is one I use all the time, but I'm totally cool with this. Quick Cutter, Epic Strike. This is a ways down in the notes, but that's going, and this is a minor nerf, but it's going from 6 seconds to 8 seconds for the cooldown. And this is basically the Epic Strike every single melee uses because it's just easily the best.
Okay.
And it's really good AoE DPS. So it's, they want to get you maybe to consider other Epic Strikes, which is fair. I definitely think that is fair. And a big general change they're making, which is important for people to understand, is Death Ward. They're changing how Death Ward works in regards to negating negative energy damage. So the way Death Ward has worked is that it completely negated negative energy damage from Inflict and Necro spells and such. But now it's, instead of being completely reducing the damage, it's only going to be 50% now. So if you've not been used to taking damage from those types of spells, in Undead quests, you will now be taking some damage. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But I think those were really the highlights. Again, that's not all of them, but those are the highlights in terms of the buffs and nerfs in my eyes.
I think, overall, and we were kind of talking about before the show, we started recording here too. I kind of glanced through this thread, like the thread is at like 34 pages. It looked like most of the comments and stuff were fairly positive on this because like you said, there's more buffs than nerfs, but I think the things that did get nerfed are okay. It makes sense that they're nerfing those a little bit. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll see, how this plays out and what changes and what. I did notice that down in the lower notes there was some known issues, and there was a couple things that actually wasn't in the build that was on Lamannia. So that tells me there's probably going to be another pass on Lamannia. So some of this stuff might change during the next pass, and the stuff that wasn't in the build will probably be in the build for them to test. So stay tuned for that. But I would assume that's how I would read that they're probably going to do another Lamannia pass before this goes live.
I'm expecting them to.
Yeah.
There's probably the one thing that's not in here that I'm surprised is Dragon Lord. I thought they would for sure touch Dragon Lord, so I'm expecting them to do that in a future pass, because Dragon Lord's just absurdly strong, and that's coming from someone who plays Dragon Lord like every life right now. So I'd be cool if they touch Dragon Lord, but if not, that's fine too. But I was expecting them to touch them, and they didn't. One buff I wanted to mention that I didn't talk about before was I know a lot of people complain about like casters in raiding and in game. They are trying to help casters in one aspect. Lost Souls, so the little SP gems that drop.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna increase the drop rate for those greatly in raids. So that's cool. So if you're a caster and you like raiding, then you should be able to regenerate your spell points more now.
Was the drop rate that low in raids for those?
I don't, I'm not sure. I mean, it's in Reaper raids only.
Yeah, I saw the note and I'm just like, was it really that low? Is that why they're really greatly increasing it, or?
I don't know. I don't play caster. I play melee, so I don't really notice. I usually just leave them for the caster players. And this, of course, not going to help you if you're on like hard and normal, but
right. Well, yeah.
I guess they're trying to make them more, more competitive in the higher meta, I guess.
So stay tuned. Like I said, we're probably assuming there's going to be another pass of this on the Lamannia, so we'll see where they go. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about with this?
I don't think so. I think overall it's good stuff. It's reasonable changes. A couple things here and there that raised my eyebrow, but mostly good stuff. I think, like you were saying, the nerfs they did make, people were like, oh yeah, and that's my response. It was like, I use Quick Cutter all the time, but I saw the nerf. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's fair.
And
good stuff.
As we said, they kind of did this. They said they wanted this to kind of tie in with the new event that they have been teasing for a while. It is coming soon. It's called Symphony of the Fey. And Torque posted over on the Lamannia forums, so this is kind of like our first, what the heck is this? And they kind of lay it out. The summary of it is Hirsum has reappeared following the events of Fables of the Feywild in the hut from beyond. It's that odd hut that's in the harbor. I think everybody knows where that's at. The quick and dirty version is the King's Curse took Hirsum's music and has scattered it across the cosmos as motes of musical power. He's been collecting them gradually under the watchful eyes of Hawthorne as a sort of centuries-long penance. But it turns out that the king has sent an army of his minions from the Shadowfell to steal the motes for himself. As each note is taken, Hirsum can feel his soul being corrupted. Hawthorne and the Fey courts of the summer and the winter are asking for your help. So it's kind of comparable. You can think of it like the Lantern event. If you did anything with the Lantern, instead of getting a Lantern this time, you're going to get a loot. And that loot's going to be equipped in your cosmetic shield. And it's going to allow you to see motes of music when you adventure in quest. They do say that the loot won't update your shield visual, but it will update your loot visual if you play one. So that's a little shout out to bards, I guess, which I don't think I've ever seen a bard carrying a loot, but okay.
Let's see.
I guess
a couple. Like there's Hirsum's fiddle, I believe it's in Dryad and the Demigod.
Okay.
Which is a fiddle looking item, but yeah.
So once again, like I said, this is kind of similar to the Lantern event. These motes of music are going to appear randomly in quest and in wilderness areas, but not in raids. And then what you do is you play your loot to trigger a mote. And what that's going to do is it's going to cause it to spawn its guardians, which they say most of the notes are going to have. Once you defeat that guardian, you play it again near the mote to claim it and progress your loot's durability and all nearby allies, just like in Lanterns. So
this is a good change because so I didn't do Lanterns. I did check it on Lamannia whenever it previewed.
I started playing it on live and then I quit. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure in the Lanterns they would auto spawn. So in this time,
yes,
you have to trigger them.
Yes,
so that's a good change.
I like that. I was going to bring that up for sure.
So if you don't want to fight them for a quest, you don't have to.
Yep, exactly. You can just skip it and move on. If you see a mote and it won't trigger until you use the loot, but it will disappear in a minute or two. So that's where it turns in. Like if you're in a group and everybody agrees that you want to do it, trigger it. If not, forget it, and it'll just go away. Motes will come in 3 difficulties, with the 4th type, which is special. We'll talk about that in a minute. The most difficult one may invoke magical geeses on your character, which you can use your loot to remove. You can also use the loot on those in the... Oh, you can't use those in the Feywild raid, though.
I didn't know I don't know what they're referring to.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you know what that is? It's apparently some debuff or something that you get in the Feywild. I didn't know what that was either.
Honestly, as someone who's run Dryad probably 100 times, I don't know what they're referring to. Are they returned to the dance section? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what they meant by geezes, but
I wasn't sure either. Yeah. That's what I assumed. It was some debuff that you get in the raid, and these are going to be in here, I guess. But once again, the loot will remove that, though. And then they say loots are easier to progress and turn in than the lanterns were. Thank God for that. One loot doesn't have a level lockout threshold and can be finished pretty quickly. And 2 have them only requiring to go up to level 15 to complete. So they say it should be possible to progress through them with a new character more easily in one life, filling and turning in loots as you go, as opposed to having to wait until level 25 as you had to do before. So that's a good change too. That was partly why I stopped the lanterns, because it was just so difficult to fill them up, I found.
That's what I heard. Heard it was very grindy.
There are 2 sets of 5 loots, Summer Court and Winter Court. The Winter Court is what they're calling the quote-unquote hardcore version, with a cosmetic reward for each one, and they haven't said what any of the rewards are going to be yet. There is a special moat called the Golden Moat. There are 5 of these hidden in specific locations somewhere in the game that each correspond to a type of loot. If you can find a golden moat and absorb it, it's going to give you a significant chunk of progress and a special custom reward. Note, it's a secret. A loot can only use a golden moat once and only the moat of its type, so it's a 1 golden moat per loot type of deal. This is meant to make the event significantly less grindy than the Lantern event was. Thank God for that, because once again, that's why I quit the Lantern event. Once all these are discovered. And I'm sure it's not going to take long. Once this goes live, I am sure players are going to go scatter the world, try to find these, and there's going to be a forum post that'll say, here's where they are.
Yeah, it sounds like it's similar to Season 8 of the old hardcore, where they had the Dragon's Horde.
Yeah, that's kind of what
That's cool. It's probably in optionals, I would assume.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling from that it was kind of a throwback to that. So we did say the Winter Court is what they're calling the hardcore loot. You may only take up to 1 Winter Court loot with a level 1 character who has less than 1500 XP. Iconics will work just the same as before, but one change they have done is a reincarnated character with past lives cannot take up this challenge. This is for new characters only. This will not prevent you from turning it in, so you can reincarnate during a Winter Court loot run if you wish. But just remember, if you want to do the Winter Court loot hardcore, you have to be a level 1 character who has less than 1500 XP.
Which is a good change. They are trying to make it feel more like the old hardcore, which is good.
Upon taking a Winter Court loot, you will receive a buff called a Vow of Glory. This effect means you may only equip magic items that have dropped during the event.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I am confused if this means what I think it means.
Yeah, what I'm assuming what this is, and what I've been told is that this is just a way for them to prevent you from basically stacking your hardcore character with loot.
That's
so
what okay.
During the event, so you can't pass your 50 pieces of out gear.
That's what I thought that meant. So yeah, I mean, I guess they're truly kind of making this a hardcore event for the players that want to do this.
Right. When you start your level 1 character, you're going to have to use, what you find after starting the character.
Right. Yeah.
Stuff.
Okay.
You could still, I would assume, create a character to like grind in that event and have like 2 characters and pass between your 2 characters. But I don't think you can use, like, if you have a Sharn set sitting around and all that, you're gonna have to.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Well, that's exactly how I read that then. And then there's going to be items of the Fey season. Nearly all magic items that will drop during the event will have a special flag on them to indicate they are in-event legal items. They'll have a special colored border and a mutation in the description. Anyone playing, regardless if they're on a Winter Court run or not, can loot these items or trade them or put them in the auction house. Only magical equipable items, excluding the ammo slot, are part of the Fey event system. Consumables will not be impacted. If you equip an off-season item with the Vow of Glory active, you will be greatly debuffed until you remove that item.
Yeah. So you got to use what you find during the season.
I mean, it's supposed to be a challenge, so yep. And then in addition to being, did you want to say something else?
Yeah, well, that's the way it was on the old hardcore server.
Yeah,
and that's what we're doing here. They're trying to replicate the old hardcore experience the best they can.
In addition to being bound to using recently dropped items, anyone with the Vow of Glory will appear on a leaderboard. Yes, the leaderboards will be back, they say. Speak with the Winter Court rep. This is why they can't really support people reincarnating into a hardcore run now. You will have to start fresh, and our things are going to get messy with their Reaper XP. Your progress on the leaderboard and your vow will be removed if you die, of course. Summer loot runs don't interact with this system at all. So if you want to make it to the leaderboard, you got to run the Winter Court. And then,
good stuff.
Yeah, it is. Like, I'm liking everything I'm hearing about this so far. And then there is going to be a new server goal feature. As your server collects motes, you are going to see Hersam's condition improve. After a certain point, he will be effectively, quote, out of danger. And he will apply a buff to all players on the server for the remaining length of the event. They aren't really looking for servers to race, but they say this may happen anyway. You know it's going to happen. I mean, I don't know why they say it may happen. You know this is the first thing people are going to do.
Why would they do this if they didn't?
Right, exactly. Exactly. They knew this was going to turn into a server race.
We're going to create a server competition mechanism, but we don't.
Right. I mean, don't actually do it. Just don't feel you have to do this. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more just to give folks a feeling that your accomplishment, something for your server. So
okay, I get that.
So yeah, yeah.
Right.
But it's absolutely going to turn it into a server race. So
yeah,
so
may as well just put it on the leaderboard.
Exactly.
What server won?
So yeah. So I don't know. I'm everything I've read about this. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, so what, just for people listening, I mean, what they're trying to do here, for anyone who doesn't maybe have the history on this, so they used to have the old hardcore where they would create a separate server and it would be a fresh start for everyone, and they're trying to replicate that here without, so a lot of people are saying, have been saying, okay, well, let's just have a hardcore season like we used to have. Let's have a real hardcore season. So they're trying to replicate that without the big con of what they did previously, which is splitting the population. So they're doing. I think this is good steps to try and give people the hardcore experience without splitting the population, because that was the problem with the old hardcore and why they stopped doing it, because it split the population, and the population on the main servers would get low as everyone went to the hardcore servers, and it just wasn't good for the game. So they're trying to please both crowds here. So I think this is a major improvement to last season for sure. Now we just need to see the rewards. I'm super excited to see what the rewards are going to be and how attainable they're going to be.
Because like I said, I really wanted to do the Lanterns event, but it was it just turned into too much of a grind and a slog, and I'm not doing it.
Well, I wanted careful balance.
Yeah,
it's a really careful balance, and they got to make sure that they provide appropriate levels of grind, but also reasons to actually do the hardcore one as well. And that was the big problem with Lanterns is they just didn't. It was just, I don't know what they're thinking. They took the same reward and just put a tiny little skull.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And this is coming from someone who probably will not do the hardcore. I'll probably just do the regular. But
yeah. Oh no, I will just do the regular too. But yeah.
Yeah, to drive players to participate in that, they need to have a very visually distinctive reward. So
100%.
Let's last season, what they should have done is they had the Panther. They say the hardcore reward should have been the same Panther, but undead Panther, like a skeleton Panther.
Exactly.
Very visually distinctive.
Right.
So that's what I hope they do. Is if they have a bear or whatever they have for the mount, the hardcore version should be an undead version of it. I think. I
will be super surprised if they don't do something like that to make it totally, because they got. That was the big complaint, and it was a well-deserved complaint for the Lantern event. There was no point in doing the hardcore version because
there's got to be reasons for players to do it. It's fair to give those players a trophy to say,
right.
Look at me.
Oh yeah,
I did that. And again, this coming from someone who won't do it.
Right,
probably won't do it.
Right,
but for those players,
I 100% agree.
That reward. Yeah.
So I hope we'll soon get to see what the rewards are. I would assume there's going to be a cloak, more than likely. Will be a mount, I would guess.
Probably.
Like, I'm sure, yeah. And then I'm sure there'll be some other stuff, but probably the big reward is going to be a mount, I would assume, just judging from how they did the Lanterns event. So
I guess it's going to be Feywild themed for the rewards. I mean,
yeah,
that would make sense.
I would assume
maybe a
so. Yeah.
unicorn of some type.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about a unicorn, but yeah. Because this is all around Hersom and the summer and winter court. So yeah, it's. I think everything is going to tie into Feywild, somehow. So yeah. So we'll find out soon. Hopefully, they haven't really said. It sounds like this probably is going to be for update 76 as well. I would assume, just because they wanted to have the balance pass tie into this, because they wanted the balance pass to be active when this is active. So my guess is this is going to come out in update 76. They've never really said, and they haven't really set a start date on this either. So
my guess is the week after Thanksgiving, because they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna start hardcore the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
so they don't want to have to work on Thanksgiving weekends.
Yeah, I assume too it would be after Thanksgiving or early December, maybe.
Yeah, that could be.
So yeah, so we'll see though. So stay tuned. So yeah, but once again, it's called Symphony of the Fey, and like I said, I'm interested just from what I'm reading. It sounds good. I like the changes that they have made as someone who did Lanterns for a while. I'm really liking the changes, and I like I guess I like where their head is at in this and how they're approaching this different than the Lanterns, and then also, like you said, they're trying to weave the whole hardcore server aspect into it too, without having the hardcore server. But they're trying to, because I know that's a big contentious thing in the DDO community, is everybody wants hardcore back. Like everybody's like,
for sure.
Like when are we getting hardcore back? I want hardcore back. They haven't said it's never coming back, but then they haven't really hinted or even said, hey, yeah, we're gonna bring it back at some point. They just basically are saying never say never.
Right,
but,
never say never, but it's pretty clear from their actions that they don't intend to bring it back.
And
this is the new. They want this to be the new thing, because they don't want to split the population.
That's the big thing, especially now that we're down to 3 servers.
Yeah, it would be less impactful now since we're down to 4 servers.
Our 4, yeah.
Yeah, 4 servers now. So we'll see. One other thing I wanted to mention that I don't think we talked about was starting at level 1. That's only for the hardcore one.
Oh yes,
so
yeah.
And still, the non-hardcore path, which is probably what I'm going to do. You can you can just use that loot in your cosmetic shield slot and just play at any level.
Yeah,
you don't have to start at level 1. That's only for the
that is only part. Yeah, if I didn't make that clear, I'm sorry. Yeah, only hardcore really level 1.
Unless you're like an ultra super zerger. Really no reason to not just participate in the non-hardcore one, unless you really don't care, because again, you don't have to change anything. If you're TRing, you just throw this on and kill a few extra mobs, but there's no reason not to.
Exactly. So more details coming soon, hopefully. Stay tuned, I guess. With that, let's take a look at our store sales. We do have those going. These are going to be active until September 20th. So you're going to have a couple days from when this episode comes out. 30% off the tools of the trade. You're going to get augment bags, select augments, jewelers and sentient toolkits, and green steel extractors. Those are through November 20th, as I said. Coupon code. This is a really good coupon code this week. It is a free greater experience elixir. And the coupon code is further on, FRUTHERON.
That's fantastic.
Once again, through November 20th. Yeah, just grab that if you don't even want any of the other stuff that's on sale. Grab that free coupon code, because that is definitely one of the better coupon codes we have had in the past while that I can think of, actually.
For sure.
I mean, everybody needs a greater experience elixir. So once again, through November 20th. And I did want to remind everybody the Gather Your Party code still active. So if you haven't entered this, you still have time. Or you still have time for your friends to enter it. Everybody should enter this, even if you're VIP, because why not? It's Gather Your Party 2025, one use per account through December 31st. Just wanted to remind everybody about that. You get a ton of stuff with this code. This is the free coupon code that they bring out fairly annually. It's usually once a year that they bring this out. But yeah, if you haven't entered this code, enter this code.
Yep, such a huge deal. Everyone needs to use that. Even if you even if you are VIP, still use it because of your VIP lapses. You'll still own all that content.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the 99-point sales did end November 2nd. I will say, but they always have big sales for Black Friday and New Year and Christmas and stuff.
Which
if you missed that. Anyone listening did miss the 5 oldest expansions that were on sale for 99 points, then there should be a big discount again here shortly.
Coming up next week, actually, as we record this, Black Friday will be next weekend. So, yeah. So stay tuned to that. And usually Black Friday is, in the past, has been some pretty decent discounts on stuff. I can't remember if they've been as low as 99 DDO points for stuff, but there's usually some really good sales, though. And
it probably won't be that big of a discount on the older ones, but it should still be a big discount.
Exactly.
I would not be surprised to see 75% off the Trove. Probably several expansions will be 75% off. Some will be 50, maybe like 25% off for some of the newer ones. Maybe even Chill could be on discount. I kind of doubt it, but it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it could be potentially, but I don't.
Probably not.
Yeah, I got to say, don't get your hopes up on that one, but yeah. Okay, well, there you go. That is our game news. We do have a little bit of other news. If you're not familiar with the show, usually the first half of the show is about DDO, and then the second half is about tabletop and other stuff. So we call this one From the Dungeon. Fantasy Grounds, that is the online tabletop simulator, so you can use it to play Dungeons and Dragons. You can play Pathfinder. You can play Vampire the Masquerade. There's a lot of systems you can play on a virtual tabletop. So if you can't meet in person with your friends, you can still play pen and paper. I use that in air quotes because you're playing it virtually, but it's still pen and paper. That is now free to play, totally. This was announced just a couple weekends ago at their Fantasy Grounds Con. It was how it was set up that anybody could download Fantasy Grounds and use it for free. But if you wanted to actually host a game, one of your people that you were playing with had to pony up $50 for what they called the Ultimate License, or a subscription. They also had a subscription, and that let you host a game where people could join. Now that barrier is completely gone. So you can just download the Fantasy Grounds software, fire it up, host a game. Anybody can host a game for free. Anybody can connect for free at no cost to you. So that's kind of awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, this really opens up, I think. I think a lot more people are going to use Fantasy Grounds now, because that was like the biggest barrier. Is like, yeah, you could get it, but whoever was the host of your game had to have that license to be able for you to connect to them to play. So this is the, I think the biggest hurdle they were coming up with getting players. And I think this is going to help. And in my opinion, I think Fantasy Grounds is the best virtual tabletop that's out. I know there's several. There used to be only like 2 or 3, but now there's like quite a few different versions. And I've played probably 3 or 4 of them. And in my opinion, I think Fantasy Grounds is the best one. And it's fairly easy to use too, even for like new DMs or whatever that want to host a game. And this does come with some free rule sets. It's going to come bundled with the system reference documents for several popular systems. So it's going to have Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and Pathfinder 2nd edition. You're going to get various maps, art assets, and free tokens along in your free download too. So yeah, there's really no excuse not to download Fantasy Grounds and play along with it. And then there is a store, of course. So if you want to add more stuff to it, you can add more like tokens, more avatar pictures, stuff like that. That's all in the store. And then there'll be adventures and stuff. And like books, you can buy books. Like if you want to buy like the Curse of Ravenloft book, you can buy that to add to your games, but there is a cost for that. That's not free. But so there is, there is going to be a cost involved maybe, but in theory, you can just download this right now. You could have 5 friends download this right now, and you could be playing a game of 5th edition in probably less than a half hour, because everything you need is right there for free. So yeah, like I said, there's really there's no excuse not to try this if you haven't tried this.
Yeah,
have you ever used Fantasy Grounds at all?
I've not. No.
Oh,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to get you in a game of something. Cuz yeah, it's so nice. I will get you into Fantasy Grounds, and you will get me into a raid. How's that?
Let's do it. Yep.
There you go.
Sounds good.
And then let's take a look real quick. We got one thing on the tabletop. And that is for the Arkham Horror, the card game. This news kind of came out of nowhere. There's going to be a brand new core set released for Arkham Horror. This is not just a reprint. They are calling this a Chapter 2 for the living card game. This is going to replace the 2021 revised core set. So this is going to be the new core set for the game. It's going to feature a fresh start. Once again, I said it's going to replace the previous core set. It's going to introduce Chapter 2. The narrative of the living card game story is going to pick up months after everything that happened in Chapter 1 in the old version of Arkham. This is going to give you some new context for why you're there and what's going on. Of course, you're going to get new investigators, new player cards, as always. There is something new that they are introducing to this as well. It is, see if I can find it now. There is a new card type, and now I can't find it in my... Oh, here it is. There's a new card type called the Reward card. So during a gameplay, you're going to be able to get these, and you're going to unlock them. And those reward cards are going to be able to be used in your future campaigns. So it's just going to add another new layer of progression that you can... add on to, and it's going to help with replayability of the game too. So got to wait a little bit for this. Not coming out until April of 2026, but it's currently available for pre-order. Check out your friendly local game store, or you can go straight to Fantasy Flight Games and order it as well. But April of 2026. So new core set coming out for Arkham Horror. And if anybody listening has not played Arkham Horror, do yourself a favor and play it. It is a really good living card game. Especially if you're into Cthulhu and the whole mythos, it does it very, very well. Yeah. And then I would probably just wait and if you're new and haven't got into the Arkham Horror card game at all, I would probably wait and just pick this set up and start from here. And that is all the news we have this week for everything. So let's talk about our week in gaming. Go first here. DDO wise, did Cruising with Drac. We usually do that most every Friday over on Evil Beaker's Twitch channel. I'll drop a link in the show notes for that. We did the Lords of Dust chain. So we did Lords of Dust, Servants of the Overlord, and Spinner of Shadows, running everything on Elite. We're just trying, these are our characters on Shadowdale that we're trying to level up, and I think the plan that we decided is we're going to get them to level cap before we do anything with them. So, and this will get us over to Evening Star, so we can start doing all of that. So yeah, like I said, I will drop a link in the show notes so you can check that out. But if not, usually every Friday night. Sometimes there's some scheduling conflicts, but we usually start about 7:30 and we just play for a couple hours. And it's like I said, it's on Beaker's Twitch channel, so you can see me play DDO badly if you would like. And then tabletop, continuing the Vampire the Masquerade Milan Rising. I've been talking about. We're on night 13 now, I think, and there's 20 nights in the main story, so we're got 7 more nights to go to finish the main story, and then we're going to have all of the other expansions and stuff and the follow-up stories to play through, so still plenty of playtime. Still enjoying that. I will link it. I was going to talk about it, but then I took it out of the show notes. I did like a review of this, so I will link that in the show notes as well if you kind of want to see my full thoughts on Vampire the Masquerade. But the short spoilerish version of it is if you enjoy Vampire the Masquerade and you enjoy storytelling, you'll like the game. Just know there's going to be issues. Read the full review to get all of the issues. Then we also got Return to Dark Tower back on the table. Died horribly again as many times as we have played that game, probably at least maybe 10, 15 times now, I think, somewhere around there. We have never beat that game, and I don't think you can beat that game. It is so hard. Speaking of another game that is really hard and probably not going to win is Temple of Elemental Evil, the adventure board game. One of my friends that was over has never played any of those D&D adventure board games, and I had never played the Temple of Elemental Evil version. I've had it and never even opened it, so we got that out, punched it out, opened it, and we managed to eke out a win, but I'm going to be honest, we kind of fudged and house ruled some of the rules. So we won, air quotes, but we didn't win technically because we didn't play it right. But that game is so hard. So we might go back to that. I don't know if we're going to go back to that or not. But and then the only other thing I did, kind of game related, is I'm working on getting a Shadow Dark adventure ready. I'm not writing it or anything. It's a pre-written adventure. I'm just getting everything ready and around for it. If you're familiar with the show, you know I always talk about this on Black Friday weekend, which is coming up. A group of my friends always come over and we spend the whole weekend. We start on Friday night and then we start back up on Saturday morning. We spend all of Friday evening and Saturday playing games, be it RPGs or tabletop. We just have a whole weekend of Black Friday gaming. We have done that for probably, I don't know, 15, 16 years maybe now, something like that. We've done it for a long, long time. It's kind of like our annual tradition. So next episode, I'm sure I will talk about all of the games we played. But yeah, I'm going to run Shadow Dark again. My goal is to actually kill them this time. So we'll see if I get that goal done or not. So stay tuned to next episode to hear if I actually kill my party op, hopefully.
Nice. I will be anxious to hear. I will be listening.
I'm hoping that I do. So what about you? What have you done in your week in gaming?
Well, DDO wise, I just wrapped up a project I've been working on, like basically for the past year, off and on, which is I did a free to play series on YouTube where like the idea was I created a new character on a fresh new account, and I played through 1 to 20 just on the free to play, all solo just on the free to play account because I wanted to see what the new player experience would be.
Right.
And I tried to like handicap myself as much as possible. So like I only soloed. I only used what I found. I didn't group with other players or trade or use the auction house or guild buffs or anything like that. So I just wanted to get like the new player experience as much as possible. So I went from 1 to 20, and I did a little YouTube guide for every single free to play quest. I did every free to play quest. So that was a long project that. Because it's different, going back to how new players have to play. You have to run like 3 times, and
it's like totally different than what most people's play style is like. Yeah,
it's pretty eye opening to play like that again, and just to only use like what you find and not to twink your character out. And it was fun. It was a good experience. I tried to put myself into new players' shoes as much as possible. So I have all those videos on my YouTube. If anyone wants to watch me go from 1 to 20,
I'll throw a link in the show notes for those too. Because it was a really fun, excellent thing to watch too.
Yeah. So other than that, I've been slowly also over the past year trying to get heroic completionist done because I'm not really much of a TR person. Mostly just kind of stay at end game and raid for fun kind of person. But I have in the past year or two like finally decided, okay, I'm going to get heroic completionist. So I just started my sorcerer life, and I've got 2 left, rogue and alchemist. And I've still never used my 2 autos boxes from the Isle of Dread expansion, ultimate expansion.
I haven't used mine either.
Yeah, so I might, because I've never used an autos box ever.
Yep, me neither.
I think I'm going to use them probably for the alchemist life because I really don't want to do it. So
fair.
I'm almost done.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, effectively, I have one life left after my sorcerer life. So I think I got to level 20 yesterday. So getting close to being done. And then other than that, that's mostly what I've been doing. And other than that, just raiding for fun with either leading raids or joining other people's raids. So that's mostly what I've been doing DDO wise. Other than DDO, I've been. This year, I got really into the NES this year. I've been playing and streaming a lot of NES games, like a lot of classics. I finally got to the point, I was like, okay, all these classic games, I've never played them, and I want to actually go back and experience them because I never had beaten these games. So I've played through like Zelda 1 for the first time.
Oh, nice.
I've been playing through like Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden, TMNT, Battletoads, Punch-Out, like a lot of these, like Batman, a lot of these classic NES games. So that's been fun. That's been pretty much the only thing I've been doing this year other than DDO when it comes to gaming.
I had no idea that you were running Castlevania.
Oh, yeah. I love Castlevania.
I'm going to have to go watch some of those videos.
As well.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I'm going to have to watch those videos now. Somehow I missed that.
They're on my second YouTube channel.
Okay.
Which is Axel Alex K2.
Okay.
But I've been posting playthroughs of that stuff. I don't know. I don't know why. I've been so into NES. Because I'm not really nostalgic for it because I never had an NES until I was like 35.
That's what I was going to ask if you like played those back in the day too, you're basically going into these blind.
I have been using walkthroughs when I need to.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fair.
I just enjoy it a lot. I just really like those games. It's just really very refreshing compared to modern games because you just like turn it on, instantly starts, and you get all the game, and it's like no internets, and and they don't care. I love how NES games just don't hold your hand at all and just punish you. It's great.
Nope.
It's great.
Yep. Nope.
So it's been a nice. It's almost like a mental workout. Some of these, difficult NES games. So I've just really been enjoying that, and then people can watch me try to work my way through it on stream. So it's been fun. It's been fun.
Well, I am definitely gonna have to check out your Castlevania because for some reason I missed it. I don't know how I missed you playing through Castlevania, but
yeah, I streamed it a few times, but yeah, okay. I love that game. It's one of probably my second favorite NES game at this point. That is like the only one that I had played all the way through.
Okay.
Before this year.
Yeah.
But the other one's not at all.
Most excellent. We currently have 10 supporters over on our Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go over to our donations page. That is where you can support the Players Alliance, which is the podcasting network that we are a part of. Your money is going to be used to pay our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for the live shows, which this show is not live much anymore, but we used to be live, but our sister show, Lotra Players, are live every week. And I know I've said it before. Everybody's probably trying to get sick of me saying it. But all of the money that we make on our Patreon goes to the show in some way, be it our website or whatever, hosting and all of that. That is all that money is used for. I know I got asked that questions a couple times, and you make this show and Lotra Players possible. So we appreciate that. So go over to our Patreon if you feel so inclined. And if you want to donate without doing Patreon every month, which we've had a couple of people, that's pretty simple to do. Just shoot me an email, Drac at ddoplayers.com. We can talk about your options. And once again, that is more than appreciated as well. We didn't get any feedback this week at all. We didn't get any reviews either. But if you do want to leave us a review, we would love your support. It helps us out a ton. So just let us know that you left a review on the podcast app of your choice, and then we will read that review on the show. And you can also leave comments either over on the website or on the YouTube, and we'll read those as well. You can shoot us an email, podcast@ddoplayers.com as well, if you want to talk about something, and we'll read your email on the air as well. That is all of my plugs out of the way. Let's get some Axel plugs going here. So talk about what you do, because you do a lot of stuff. Sure, you are pretty amazing, actually, at the amount of content that you put out.
Oh, thank you. I try, and I do it just for fun mostly. Yep. I don't make much of anything off of it. So
samesies.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been YouTubing about DDO forever. You can find me on Axel's DDO channel on YouTube. I've been doing videos since 2014, so very long time. I do have a DDO podcast on my own, which I started a couple years ago. It's called Axelcast, so you can find that on YouTube and Spotify. That's AXELCAST. And you can also find me on Twitch. I stream probably, let's say, three to four times a week. It's twitch.tv/AxelAlexK, which is AXELALEXK on Twitch. And it's the same name on Twitter, and then the same name with a 2 for my retro channel on YouTube, which just mostly me doing clips or shorts of me playing retro games. And sometimes I'll do, when it strikes me, I'll do something completely not related to DDO over there in terms of like a review or talking about a game.
Okay, excellent. Like and I will add links to this in the show notes. All I got to do is go over to the show notes, and you can just click and get right to all of these. And speaking of your podcast, you and I are the only 2 podcasts left for DDO.
I know.
That I am aware of.
Makes me sad. I wish somebody would revive DDO Cast.
It is kind of sad, but yeah, because DDO Cast, I think, is officially done now, from what I can tell, because there hasn't been a new update forever, and the website's not coming up anymore. So I'm like, we're the last 2 standing, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, for anyone listening out there, if you really like DDO, I mean, there is a big space right now for DDO podcasters. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you are that person who's motivated and you want to start a podcast, I mean, I bet if you hit up Nacho Wench or Kaleva, who were doing DDO Cast, it'd probably give it to someone who's motivated.
Oh, yeah.
That person who doesn't really have a name in the community and you want a platform, then maybe ask them, or just create your own. There's a lot of space right now particularly for DDO podcasts, because the one I do, I mean, I don't do it, but maybe once a month or once every other month.
Sadly, that's what this one's turned into too. So, which is my fault, and I apologize. Again, I know I say that a lot on the show, but yeah.
I would love to do it more, but it's just I don't have time.
Yep.
It's
no, I 100%.
And goes. And I could do it every week, but then I would have to not stream and not do other videos. And
then that's why, and I've kind of talked about this too, and that's why this show is kind of morphed into what it is too, is because for like the longest time there wasn't really any DDO news to talk about, so that's why I started introducing all of the, like the tabletop and then the tabletop games, and then sometimes we talk about movies and stuff on here. So yeah, so like I'm a totally different DDO podcast, but somehow it still works, and like your podcast is like way different than my podcast, but yet we're still DDO, but it just all works. And like you said, somebody could bring in like a total, really crunchy hardcore DDO podcast if you're that type of player, or somebody that's brand new could start a DDO podcast, and kind of like how this one technically was when we started. I mean, I had played since before free to play, but then I stopped playing for a while. So when I started this, I was still kind of a new player, I guess, because I hadn't played for like several years. So, but yeah, like definitely, we would love more DDO podcasts for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Get if there's 2 or 3 people out there who want to do a podcast, rotate hosts.
Yep.
Everyone do one a month? I don't know. There's a space for it for sure.
There is.
And also, I say that selfishly because I want more stuff to listen to during my work commute.
Exactly.
So, everyone out there, make podcasts for me to listen to. I command it.
There you go. Listen to Axel. Make a podcast. Do it right now. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows. It is the show which records various times because we've talked about that before. We don't need to go into it. Then on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is Lotro Players News. If you play Lotro, if you like Tolkien, that's a show for you. It's this show, but Lotro. It's our sister show. They were actually first. They were before us, but set up very similar. So they talk about Lotro, and they know a lot about Lotro. So if you're curious about Lotro, go listen to that show, and you'll learn a lot. You can join us for our live shows when they are live at ddoplayers.com/live. I think that's going to wrap up this week's episode. Is there anything else you want to talk about or add in here before we totally wrap it up?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. It's been fun though, man.
Yes,
talking to you.
I am.
So it was nice hanging out with you too. At in Indy.
Yeah, I don't think
was that August.
Yeah, I don't think I ever really talked about that on the show. But yeah, the Gen Con meetup. Yeah, we did, and that was, I think, the second time we've actually met in real life. Third time, maybe.
We
second?
The first time, although we didn't really talk much, but I did. See you in person at Gen Con 2018.
I think. Yeah, it was 18 or 19, something like that. Yeah,
I think it was 18.
Yeah. So that's always fun. I love it when SSG does those meetups because I get to meet all of you guys that are like, I'm like, yeah, you guys are just like so awesome, and you're like way cooler than I am. So I'm actually talking to you. It's cool.
Nice to have a face to the voice.
Yeah, that is true too. Mm-hmm. And for the first time ever at the meetup, well, of course, we were at the meetup, so I guess it really doesn't count because everybody there was there for the games. But I actually did get recognized by my voice, which I thought was cool. So there was, and I forgot the player's name, but he just came up and he's like, I heard you talking. I know you're Drac. And I'm like, that is so cool.
Awesome.
So, yeah, so if you ever hear this voice out somewhere, just say hi. That would be great. All right. So we're going to wrap it up. So I guess what we've learned is go out and make a podcast so Axel has something to listen to. And as always, I hope the RNG is kinder to you than it always is to me, because we all know how the RNG loves me.